Hi, St. Paul. It's Pastor Mark. As we shared in services yesterday, it's the start of Holy Week. It starts with Palm Sunday, and there was all kinds of special things going on in Jerusalem, and there normally would be all kinds of special services going on for us as well. But this year, we're not going to have those special gatherings. A Maundy, Thursday special communion service, or a Good Friday service of poignant darkness and reflection on Jesus at that time. Instead, I'm proposing to do this, to share with you all of the momentous things that if you were in Jerusalem during that first Holy Week, what things would you be hearing about going on? And so for a brief devotional nugget, I'm going to share with you each day some of those things you would be hearing if you were just a citizen living in Jerusalem trying to make sense of some really confusing times. Here's what happened on Monday. If you were in Jerusalem on Monday, you'd be hearing all kinds of town talk and news reports where they say, hey, we're going live to the temple. And they would be showing images and pictures and interviewing people where Jesus had just showed up in the story of what we call the cleansing of the temple. Let me read you just this section from Matthew 21. It says, Jesus entered the temple area and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. It is written, he said, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. If you and I were in Jerusalem, that would be a big deal. You'd be hearing the talk of the town and you would be confused about it. The temple was the center. It was the center of everything. It was a center spiritually, ceremonially, culturally, politically. And you'd be hearing these words like, what did he say? What did we hear him say? He said, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. Peel back those words for a second. The den isn't where robbers rob. It's where they hide to feel safe. And Jesus says, you've turned my temple into a den of robbers. That is, people had gotten used to hiding behind a certain religious facade. Business at the temple was booming. There was all kinds of stuff going on. But Jesus calls all that into question because he sees through it. Let me just kind of propose this. These days for us, everything seems a little bit weird. It's weird to think about how you're going to get groceries. It's weird to think where you can gather, where you can't. When you greet people, you can't shake a hand or give a hug. Everything is a little weird also for us right now. And I think in the midst of that, here's the bit of reflection we get to have. On Monday, Jesus cleansed the temple. I learned from that this. It's not about the big outward show that Jesus is impressed with. In fact, he sees through to us. He sees through things that we love, that he knows about us, and things that make us uncomfortable. And so maybe this Holy Week is a walk in this, that we then say, okay, Lord, things are weird, and the brokenness, it isn't just outside me, it includes me. And so we go forward with a week of honest repentance, of humble trust, and say, Lord, if any good thing is going to happen, it's going to come from you. And Jesus sees through to that as well. That's what makes it a good thing. He cares for those who are in need and who depend upon and trust in him. My prayer for you and I both is that that is exactly true of us, that we learn to trust in Jesus in peculiar times, and he provides for his people in need. God's peace be with you all, St. Paul. I'll share with you again another devotional thought tomorrow. God bless.